the Ethiopians were showing another remarkable development. In 1950s, the Ethiopian bought two Convair aircrafts which had a capacity of transporting about 36 passengers at a time. Such aircraft were the most comfortable and able to fly at a high altitude during that time. The Ethiopian had also registered apparent progressive changes with regard to human resource development. When the Ethiopian started service at the initial few years, the majority of its employees were foreigners. In the early of 1950s, however, the expatriates were begun to be replaced by Ethiopians, where 3/4 of its employees were Ethiopians around 1953. The year 1957 was a turning point for the Ethiopian Airlines.
In 1957, Captain Alemayehu Abebe became the first Ethiopian and African pilot to fly off DC-3 C-47 aircraft.
Few mechanics, including the first Ethiopian captain, Alemayehu Abebe, joined the Ethiopian Airlines from the Ethiopian Air Force.
The Ethiopian Airlines requested the Ethiopian Air Force trained pilots to replace the Americans, who were dominantly working in the airlines since its establishment. Therefore, they came and asked each of us in person whether we were interested to join the Ethiopian Airlines or not. 4 of us were chosen and transferred to the Ethiopian Airlines from the Ethiopian Air Force.
Now, the Ethiopian Airlines had become strengthened and organized in all its activities and services. In 1958, it bought another DC-6B or Cloudmasters aircraft. Such 4-engine aircraft was bigger than the previous ones and had a capacity of transporting 71 passengers at a time.
ቀጥሎም በ1960 ዓመተ ምህረት የኢትዮጵያ አየር መንገድ ወደ ጀት በረራ ለመግባት ያሰበበት ጊዜ ነበር።
In 1960, the Ethiopian Airlines planned to start jet flights. Around 1962, the new airport was constructed at Bole, Addis Ababa. The airlines bought 2 Boeing 720B aircrafts. This made the Ethiopian the first African airlines to order Boeing 720B, and it made the first Boeing international flights from Bole to Nairobi in 1963.
The year 1971 is the other remarkable year in Ethiopian aviation history. The Ethiopian national Colonel Simret Medhani was appointed the first general manager of the Ethiopian Airlines. And thus, Ethiopians started to manage and lead their airlines by their own. Ever since, the Ethiopian Airlines has made significant improvements and developments with regard to quality service as well as capacity. In the early of 1980s, the Ethiopian turned all its attention in buying modern aircraft so that it has strengthened and developed its services to international standard. It has stretched its flight destinations to different countries of Africa, Far East, and the Middle East. In 1984, the Ethiopian undertook another activity that caught the attention of international community.
In 1984, the Ethiopian Airlines bought Boeing 767, which seized the attention of the international community. It flew from New York to Addis Ababa for about 13.5 hours straightly. This made the Ethiopians to break the 2-engine flight distance record. The Boeing 767 aircrafts are computerized, and still we are using them to fly across the world.
The dramatic development of the Ethiopian Airlines was not limited only to international flights. The Ethiopian also gave special attention to domestic flights across the country. In line with this, It imported different modern aircrafts that were regarded as latest during the time. In 1988, the Ethiopian bought ATR-42 aircraft to boost up the domestic flight service. On the contrary, DC-3 C-47 aircrafts, by which the Ethiopian began its first service in 1946, were made completely grounded because of lack of spare parts. On the other hand, the Ethiopian bought Dash 6 twin-motor aircraft so as to consolidate and support domestic flight service. By the end of 1996, the Ethiopian bought 5 Fokker 50 aircrafts in order to expand domestic flights all over the country. 2 years later, the airlines registered another aviation history.
የአትላንቲክን ውቅያኖስ አቋርጠን ወደ አሜሪካን ሀገር ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ በሮም በኩል በረራ የጀመርንበት ጊዜ ነው።
We made successful flights to Washington DC, America by crossing the Atlantic Ocean through Rome. This was a special moment for both Ethiopians living in abroad and in the country as well. It was a flight that enabled families to meet each other. Later, the airlines strengthened and expanded its routes by buying and hiring many aircrafts.
It is now 60 years since the Ethiopian Airlines was established. During these long years, the Ethiopian has developed its services and stretched its flight routes across the globe. Especially, the dramatic developmental changes it has registered recently has made everyone to be proud of it.
የኢትዮጵያ አየር መንገድ በእርግጠኛነት መናገር የሚቻለው በጣም እጅግ ፈጣን በሆነ የእድገት ጉዞ ላይ ይገኛል።
Frankly speaking, the Ethiopian Airlines has been on a speedy development track. Currently, the Ethiopian Airlines has shown double-fold development in comparison with the services it rendered in 2004. For example, in 2004, the Ethiopian Airlines transported 1.2 million passengers, whereas during the last Ethiopian fiscal year, which ended on June 30, 2008, 2.5 million passengers were transported. Our annual income in 2004 was $384 million. However, in the last fiscal year, we are able to secure around $1 billion. Now we have 25 jet aircrafts used for international flights and 5 Fokker 50 aircrafts used for domestic flight services. In 2004, we had around 17 aircrafts. The same year, we made 190 flights per week. However, now we make 384 flights a week. Therefore, the Ethiopian Airlines has registered double-fold development in the last 4 years.
But